day, Sarah and I visited Safe Pet Rescue here in St. Augustine. We saw this adorable little dog, and he only had one eye, and we called him One-Eyed Jack. But actually, he's a female dog, so maybe this painting will be called One-Eyed Jackie. I thought it was such a cute little subject, I'd do a small painting here. So I've got an 8 by 10 inch masonite board, and I'm using acrylics, and on my palette I have 2 blues, 2 yellows, 2 reds, and then these earth colors here. I'm going to start just by putting in a light background, just so I can get rid of some of this white. I'm going to put this on quite thin, and I'll just put a wash over the entire board. And since this is acrylics, it's going to dry really fast. With some dark colors, burnt umber, ultramarine blue. We'll start with these big dark ears. We have most always gotten our dogs from Pet Rescue, and they generally end up to be really great animals. So if you're looking for a new best friend, that's a good place to start. Using a fairly large brush with this, I'm just going to block in the darks first. I usually start with my thinner colors and work towards my thicker colors. And I'm just referencing my photograph over here on my right, and I'm trying to get the right values and the right colors. And we have his leg here. That leg just sort of drops out of sight back down in here. We have his other leg coming up here. Actually, in the photograph, the new owner, because this dog did find a home, is holding the dog. So he has his hand in here, but I'm not going to put that in. I'll eliminate that part of the painting here. Now I'll move to a lighter value up here, and I keep building this up. And she has a red coat on. And I'm just laying this in rather thin. That adds a nice bit of color to this painting. Now that I have my basic colors and values put in there, I can begin with some of the detail. There's your poor little eye. Now, all the detail down here in this nose is pretty indistinguishable in the photograph. So I'm not going to try and make up a lot of detail in there that I actually can't see in the photograph. I'm just going to follow that photograph and keep that a nice dark value down there without too much detail going on. I may put in a hint of a highlight here or there, but I'm basically just going to leave that quite dark. I often take photographs of pets that our friends own, and often when their pets pass away, I do a little painting of them as a gift. I'm just making this more opaque now, darker. Now I start to refine these areas, put in a little more subtle values and color shifts. Not sure I needed all these colors out on my palette, but basically the 3 primary colors I can pretty much do everything I need to with those 3 primary colors. In these primary colors I have a cool blue, a warm blue, cool yellow, warm yellow, cool red, and warm red. The earth colors are really for convenience. Saves a lot of time just to have them on there. I can use my atomizer here, spray this board every now and then. That helps this paint flow on quite easily. He's got a little crown right here on his head there. Glad that's there because it really differentiates the top of his head with the background. Now this is just a quick little painting here, but on our website we do have over 100 full-length programs on DVD and some downloads as well. And they go into a lot more detail than what I'm doing here. Now I think I'll make this background darker just so the face of the dog will show up a bit more. Now, and this time I'm using opaque colors. I'm not putting it on as a wash. First stages of a painting like that where they're very thin, it's just sort of to give myself a roadmap as to where I think I need to go in the painting. I think this darker color will work out pretty good because I think it will give me an opportunity to put a little bit of rim lighting around her ear. It's very vague down in here in the photograph, so I'm just going to leave it that way. I'll take my pure white and let's just put a little rim lighting right around the edge of her ear. And that background paint still is wet, so some of this white is blending in with the background, but I'm trying to lay it on there heavy enough where it doesn't blend very much. This little girl had the biggest ears I've ever seen on a little dog. Here's a picture of our little dog, Mickey, which we got at the Safe Pet Rescue several years ago. Turned out to be a really nice pet. This is a small painting I did of our dog, Mickey. I laid it out in charcoal to begin with on a masonite board. Then using acrylics once again, I just started to block in the major shapes, the large areas. And then as I continued, I began to refine it and add the background. And I finished it by adding the accents and highlights. Yeah, a little highlight right across the nose. Now I'll drop in one small highlight on the eye. And with some blue, put a little bit of blue on the underside of that eye, just to give it a little bit of roundness, a little bit of form, and maybe a little bit of color in the ear. It's really hard to see in the photograph, but I can just see a little bit of color up here. Well, I hope you'll tune into our PBS television series, Painting and Travel, which airs nationwide around the country. But for now, this is just a quick little painting of One-Eyed Jackie.